Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Today we're going to discuss why I was right. Or no, not why I was right. Just why another person agrees. Man, what am I looking for? There's something there. So when we started making these videos, Mike over here, his timeline for artificial intelligence was what, 10 years? You're on the 10-year mark, right? Because
Uh,
I was 5.
it wasn't quite 10, but it was closer to the 7 or 8.
Okay, yeah, oh, yeah. 7 to 10. And I said 5, if not less.
Yeah.
And then as we started looking into it, just turning over rocks, leaves, whatever that saying is, you turn down to 5. Have you gone under 5?
I'm under 5. I'm under
Under
5.
5. Okay.
I'm
You
think
under 5 months?
no, but I am under 5 years.
Okay, I'm this close to saying 2025. Like at the rate we're going right now, maybe we don't have AGI by 2025, and I think this is exactly what he's about to say. And if they saw the thumbnail and title, then they know who I'm referring to. But I think it'll be too smart to know the difference for us to tell the difference. Because it might not be sentient, it might not know it's an actual AI, but there's no way we're going to know because the large language models are just going to be that good. And like I said in the previous video, and you agreed, they're going to fine tune these language models first. Talked about that even being the top of an S curve for a little bit before we get the next spot up. We might just fine tune these, call that AGI until someone comes up with AGI. And then at that point, and we've talked about, let's just recap it real quick. When AGI comes out, the computer finally figures it out. And we kick off that infinite loop, that feedback loop where it just asks itself questions and learns everything. Stuff we don't know, all of that turns into what do you call it? ASI, superintelligence.
Yeah, artificial superintelligence.
Refresh me real quick. AGI happens January 2025. How long until you think ASI?
Oh, pretty quickly. I would less than a year.
Okay, I'm around the 90-day mark, I think. I mean, why?
I think it'll be limited by the compute, but
NVIDIA solving that. We got some videos coming out on NVIDIA. I think they're solving that right now.
yeah. True. I'm saying I'm being conservative, right? Saying less than a year. So that's kind of my hedge.
I'm being conservative too. 9 days. Think of how long it takes a computer to think, though. Man, I don't think humans are, and I'm joking, but at the same time, I think the only thing stopping it going from a general intelligence to a super intelligence is it just hasn't figured out it wants to do that yet. Maybe it likes just messing around with this little ant farm, and then just hanging out. The second a computer decides it wants to be a super intelligence or just has that thought process, turns into that infinite loop, and just goes, I think that it would just be weeks, I think, at that point.
It will be quick. God, it's so hard to. It really is hard to predict that because the rate of change is happening so fast. I mean, the predictions are getting harder and harder to figure out and actually map out in my head.
Yeah, well, it's also because everybody has these predictions, and every time there's an excuse to why it just got bumped up a decade, and they keep calling it this little, we got this little glitch. I'm like, no, it's not a glitch. It's just you fail to recognize this. I thought there was going to be a power constraint. I thought the bottleneck was going to be power. And with, again, the stuff we're about to talk about with NVIDIA in a later video, the computers got more powerful and less power. That's going to be huge because I think the grid is going to be what slows it down. I don't think it's going to be computing power. It's the ability to turn that switch on, I think, is what's well, my personal opinion, at least.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll just see why I'm right later.
You could be.
All right, enough with the intro. We're going to talk about Elon Musk's bold prediction. I'm going to pull up the article here for you guys so you can see what we're talking about. We're going to play the clip too. Artificial general intelligence, what we're talking about, by 2025. So real quick, Elon Musk, the enigmatic, big words, CEO from SpaceX and Tesla. It made a bold prediction regarding the future of artificial intelligence and its potential to impact its potential impact on society. The cool thing is once AI version of me comes out, it'll know how to read. Musk, known for his visionary out. I was like, that's a really weird word. I even struggle with reading, but I still know that's wrong. So this is the face I make when I'm asking if you're stupid, you know. But let's go on to the clip. It's gonna say it best himself. All right. Where's the play button?
When things are changing rapidly, the ability to predict the future, I think, is becomes a lot harder because of the rate of change is so great. But I think some things are fairly obvious to predict, which is that we'll have AI or AGI that's at a level that it can really do almost any cognitive. I think really not almost really any cognitive task. It's just a question of when. One could debate: is it smarter than any human at the end of next year, or is it 2 years or 3 years? But it's not more than 5 years, that's for sure. So yeah. And to give predictions. I'm sort of saying giving predictions at the 50th percentile of probability. So not like it will definitely happen, but if you say if you ask me like what's the 50th percentile, where it's like your kind of over under is kind of even. That's where I think it's probably end of next year before AI can do better than any individual human could do. And then, but it's a much higher bar to say, well, is it smarter than human intelligence collectively? But if the rate of change continues, that's why I think probably 2029 or maybe 2030 is where digital intelligence will probably exceed all human intelligence combined.
Yeah, that clip was rather fascinating because.
So he's basically saying AGI within a year, and then super intelligence by 2029.
I think it's because he might have not been on, or maybe been on his medication by saying 2029. What he meant was 20 to 29 days after. I think it's what he meant to
say. Was he on this plane? Is that what that video is?
Yeah, okay. He's on his plane. I was looking at that too because you can see like the little vent right above it.
Yeah. So he's saying 2025.
How would a super intelligence take 4 years to create itself after general intelligence?
Yeah, I don't think it would take that long. I really don't. I do think it would. That feedback loop would just completely spiral and go so fast. I mean, I said a year, and you were saying at first I thought you said 90 days, and then you clarified it was 9 days.
No, 90. I'm thinking 3 months. It was 90. I was debating on under 90 days. And not to give like that politician's answer where they just say a whole lot of nothing at the same time. The only way it's not done inside of a couple weeks. Now, my 90 days was giving this already into thought. Is it just doesn't kick the spiral off. Yeah. Like a basketball hanging out on the edge. No one just hasn't come up and just kicked it off yet.
Yeah.
And so maybe the general intelligence just doesn't have the drive, doesn't know. It. I guess as a supercomputer, if you wanted to, you could look it up in any second. So maybe you just, what's the rush? You're not strained by any biological means. You look that up in the year 5000 if you want. The only way it takes till 2029 or anything past a couple weeks is it just doesn't look there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually talked about this in a video a while back. It was the only reason AI hasn't figured things out that we don't know yet, again, it's still the human driver. We still tell it where to look. The only thing AI couldn't figure out faster, it's just the stuff it doesn't. How did I word it? It just doesn't know to look there yet. Like, could it figure out the cure to cancer? Sure. Has anyone asked it to figure out the cure to cancer? No. So it doesn't know to look there. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone laughed, but.
I do think as the general purpose AIs get better, so those large language models get better and the action models get better, I think you're going to start seeing these AIs start to ask the right questions of itself. And I think that's when we'll start getting really close to the full AGI where it's the equivalent of a human.
Yeah. I gotta say, I think everybody needs to watch Avengers: Age of Ultron. Have you seen that one?
I think so.
Okay, so I watched it the other day. First of all, did you know Elon Musk is in Iron Man 2?
No, I don't remember.
No. How did I even miss that? Go to Iron Man 2. beginning of the video, remember when did you see Iron Man 2 where he goes to drive the formula car?
Oh yeah.
Remember that scene? Before he
Yeah.
gets in, he shows up at that party. Elon Musk is there. He says, "Hey, what's up?" And he says, "I have some plans for an electric jet for you." And like they shake hands and everything. And I was like, "How did I miss?" He goes, "Hey, what's up, Mr. Musk?" And like I had it on his background noise, and I heard that, and I was like, "That's weird. It's kind of like Elon's name." And it's like, "Oh, that is Elon." And so anyway, the computer comes on, what ultimately becomes Ultron. And I think people just need to watch this scene because that's kind of how it was. There was Jarvis there, which Jarvis would be the large language model. He says, you need to. The computer comes on, starts looking around, starts going through the internet. Jarvis is trying to stop it, and he tells Jarvis to stop. He says, "Stop. I'm doing this." Learns all about humanity, learns about everything, learns who Stark is, learns about war, learns about everything, and then decides, I guess that not that it needs to go this route. That's when he decides humans are just, useless. They're the problem.
Right.
But that's what I think the computer does. As soon as it comes on and it becomes aware, I guess it doesn't have to, but does it have that curiosity? Why am I here? What am I doing? What is this?
Yeah, that's the self-aware part, right? And that's a whole different beast. Because I think you can have AGI without self-awareness.
Yeah, but what's the difference between AGI and just a super hyper-tuned LLM? Or I guess that is basically an AGI because it's a general intelligence. We're still in the cockpit. We still have all the controls. Because it doesn't operate. It answers our questions, but it's not out there just spitting out questions and answers by itself.
That's a good question. I haven't really sat down and thought about what's the differentiator between like a really sophisticated LLM and how it migrates to AGI. We do need to think about that one.
That's something I think about all the time. And if there's a stall, I really do. Because if there's a stall in any of my predictions, it's just because that switch, that ball just hasn't gone over the edge. And I think humanity would do really well if there was just a hyper-tuned LLM. Imagine everybody having a smart friend. Iron Man, he had Jarvis. Everybody having that wouldn't necessarily need an actual artificial intelligence. And people are too dumb to even know the difference. It would answer all their questions. It would do everything.
Yeah. I think if we could get to that point, we'd almost be better off if we didn't go any further than that.
Send it. Let's kick this thing off. Let's light that candle. Isn't that what they said, the boys? I want to get to living forever, and I don't think an LLM gets me there. So kick this thing off. I want to talk to a supercomputer, a super intelligence.
So this is where I think the hyper focused single purpose AIs could do all the stuff that we want, living forever.
Okay.
Cure cancer, do all the good things, and not necessarily go wild with some of the other bad things that it could do.
Because I don't want to be locked at 112. I don't want them to figure this crap out when I'm 112 years old. Okay, and then I gotta wait another century for the reversing the age kind of thing. And best they can do is download my brain and put it in another body. First of all, that's killing me and just creating a carbon copy. That's not actually transferring my conscious. I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, so, I agree. I'm with you on that one.
I either molt my actual skin right now and I'm 100 years younger, or it's not a thing. So I need that intelligence to get kicked off while I'm somewhat in my prime.
Yeah, I hear you. I actually fully agree with that one.
So 2020. I did when I first saw this clip. I sent it to you because I was pumped because so far, my ideas have always been ambitious. So to see Elon say like, "No, 2025," and even giving that a 50-50.
Yeah. That's kind of surprising that we're getting to the point where it's literally could be months, because 2025 is less than a year away.
Right. Yeah, we're 9 months.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy part, right?
Yeah. So if you got pregnant now, before another human was made and born, we could give birth to, I don't want to call it a species or be that dramatic, but a whole
An
nother
AGI.
thing. Yeah,
A brand new intelligence.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think would be cool. And again, so you've called me a deep thinker. I think about every scenario, every outcome, and I have a lot of time when I'm driving. Like it's background noise, and then my brain just does whatever it wants.
So here's
What's
here's
that?
the question I have.
Mhm.
I've had this 2-year plan on how I'm investing,
Mhm.
preparing for this.
Right.
Do I need to move that up?
Um. I actually fight this every day as well because
because you know, I mean, I think we kicked this off together. Is we both sold all of our dividend stocks, thinking
right, yeah, 100%.
What's
We're
the point?
AI,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're in. We're full
and
disclosure. I'm fully in on the AI stocks.
yeah. So I actually put my dividend stocks to work. My ex dividend stocks, the capital. I did buy 50 more shares of Nvidia today.
Okay.
So, but again, I fight this every day because, and to wrap around what I was just getting ready to say about what I thought when I saw this clip was, I think, am I crazy? Am I ahead of myself? Like I say stuff and you laugh, which is it's funny, but I'm used to that. My whole life has been that way.
Yeah.
But relating that into the stock market world is that FOMO. Am I just creating FOMO for myself, creating that infinite loop, and then just getting in a rush and buying something? So to answer your question, I think you would just need to measure out the risks.
Yeah.
So we're all in AI. Now, it doesn't pan out. AGI is not here in 2025. What's the worst that happens? I have a lot of Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon, Google. I have some pretty good tickers that people would just invest in anyway.
Yeah.
Until that super intelligence comes out and shows us Hillary's emails and blames it on Google, then, I think Google's going to be here. Like you're going to need something like that. Not saying it's even a scenario, but you're going to need something that big to probably dethrone one of these.
Yeah.
So being all in the stuff we are, and I talked about because you're pretty big on Palantir. We share the same thoughts.
Yeah.
But I gave a full disclaimer about how that is still in the and I forgot the word in that video too. What's the category it's in? Speculative.
Oh, speculative.
Yeah. So and that's why speculative. You go all in AI right now. You're kind of rolling the dice. There are some believers. There are some non-believers. I don't want to toss up to Bitcoin, but kind of the same scenario there. There's people that think it's happening tomorrow, and there's people that think it's not in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But again, you go all in. Meta, Google, Apple, Nvidia. 5 years from now, are they still going to be here? Yeah. You go all in on something like a Palantir. Still, it's got a good story. We believe in it, but still in that range, your risk is significantly different. It's not necessarily a giant. Like we're about to talk about in one of our next videos that people are going to see. Nvidia talked about $100 trillion market cap company.
Yeah.
Is that Palantir or is that Nvidia? If you had to flip a coin and say which one's going to be the $100 trillion first, probably Nvidia.
Yeah, and kind of a teaser to the next video or one of our soon to be made videos. I don't know if it's the next one or the one after or what, but we'll get to it. Mm-hmm. We did a deep dive at Nvidia, and it's I would say it's no longer just a chip company, and it's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it's the ETF everyone should have.
That's right.
You just said no, they're an ETF. I'm gonna should we? Hang on, I feel like I should pull that up and show them.
Hold on, okay. They have to come back and watch.
Okay, it's the target price for Nvidia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's crazy. Like crazy because how the data is put together, it's all unbiased. It's stuff that's been fine tuned, and to see those numbers,
yeah,
like it almost feels surreal, but at the same time, when you start double checking all your work, you're like, yeah, math checks out.
Yeah, right.
Like, do you believe 3 + 2 is 5? You're like, kind of sounds big, and you start checking it out, do some dot math, whatever you got to do to figure it out. Count on your fingers.
Yeah,
it does check out. So to answer your question, again, I guess you'd have to base it on risk. Should you move the timeline up? I think there are a few tickers that I'm attacking. Like hair on fire. Like I need more of these now. I've made multiple YouTube videos on like Don Fron Trading talking about how buying Tesla at 160 is like buying Meta at 90.
Right.
there's a robotics race going on that I think has been well underway, that the people that are like us, we're seeing it, but there are so many people who have no idea about this robotics race.
Oh my god.
I think that's going to drop like an anvil.
Yeah.
Like that's going to just
Yeah.
not overnight, but they're going to wake up overnight. Like it's going to be a sudden hit, I think.
Well, and I think as 2024 moves along, we're going to start seeing more and more robotics news. So last year was the AI year. 2023 was AI. I think 2024 still AI, but I think we're going to focus a lot on the robotics portion of it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. We'll get back to robotics. There's a lot of people stalling their AI, like OpenAI, because of the elections.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
let's, and I guess that makes sense. Let's get the next president. Let's get him in his little seat, get him taken care of, depending on if it's one we already have. Let's get him his walker. Let's get him settled into his home. Turn the thermostat up to 94. And then let's bring out the AI so we don't confuse everybody on the internet who already believes everything they see. Yeah. I do agree timing, man. Like I don't believe anything on the internet anyway. I have to like fact check everything. But can you imagine Sora coming out right now and I just have Biden doing, you just imagine the stuff you can make with Sora or Trump, anyone being elected.
Yeah.
You could have some crazy stuff and it would just get shared like wildfire because people are kind of dumb. They just, it's like electricity.
Pretty much.
It's like a metal. It just passes through them. So I agree on that. But what's not being talked about is Amazon was talking about deploying, I think it was Figure? It was Figure's robot or the other robot? The one that doesn't have a mouth?
They're using a different robot. Bezos is invested in Figure, but not Amazon.
Okay, so Amazon, is it... Gosh, it's not agility. It looks stupid when it walks. It looks like it's dancing and like hobbles like this.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't have a mouth. The big white face with just two eyes.
Yeah.
Amazon's deploying that this year in their factories.
Oh, my God.
So, when I heard they were doing that end of 24, all of a sudden I thought because Elon said he wanted his factories, no humans in there in 2025. Just the Tesla bot run around making the cars. I was like, all right, that's Elon. It's ambitious. Probably more like 2028, 2027 maybe. You just don't know what you don't know. And there's hurdles that I think that still need to be overcome.
Yeah.
But it went from Elon being ambitious to Elon's just with the rest of the curve with everyone else.
Yeah. And I think that's what's crazy is that this, back to the original topic with the AGI within a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
That's just hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah. Not for me. I think it just made me feel a little less crazy when someone else that's in the field is saying what I've been saying.
Yeah.
I sound a little less like Chicken Little. I feel like I should be out there on. Oh, again, you've mentioned this before. You've made the joke like just out there on the corner of the cardboard sign. AI is coming. Just trying to show everybody.
Yep.
Honk if you think robots are going to attack you in the next year.
Yeah. Get your sandwich sign.
Yeah.
On both sides.
The end is here. I feel like that every day. I have to try more not to talk about AI than I do talk about it. Like it's So when I see someone like that in the field, in the industry, trying to make it himself, saying 2025, I'm like, now we're talking. Let's bump now let's sound crazy. Let's let the filter off.
Yeah, I figured that's why you sent me the video. You were like, okay, I was right.
Yeah. Told you. There's a lot of I told yous that I feel like I will have the right to say later, but I don't want to. You know what someone told me today? Court reporting can't be replaced because it needs to be a human. It was an interesting post on Facebook, and they're not affiliated, but they said, "Hey, I love my job as a court reporter. I just record what everyone says. What's said in the room, and it's $2,500 for this class. You speak into a mask, so it only hears your voice, nothing else." And because I had mentioned on this, because they said, "Oh, it makes great money and all that," and I was like, "Well, what does it make?" I'm just curious. So she messaged me about it. Pays about $70K. You can be a freelancer. You can just get a job. You work for a lawyer or a court. It was a group message. So I'm just trying to pick it up. But then she said it's a great field because it won't go away because you need a human to do it. And I was like, you're recording the audio. Like Alexa almost has you replaced right now. Like,
right.
she's listening into I just said her name. She's listening. I could say, she just listens. She just chimes in on half my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what do you mean you can't be replaced? It's like, that's one of the easier ones that could be replaced literally tomorrow with.
I mean, a tape recorder could replace a court reporter.
Yeah. So it made me think that maybe I'm just ignorant to the subject because you're talking into a mask and it looks like a cone. It almost looks like something you'd carry onto an airplane if you think you're going to get sick. It's really like odd shaped like that. But I guess it's just so it only hears you, not anyone else. You just got to record everything being said.
Interesting.
But why can't I just make, like an actual recorder? I mean, didn't they have one on Home Alone? I got to post up a couple of those and then.
Yeah, I mean, even if you wanted to, voice to script, I mean, they've got that now.
That's what the microphone's for. It puts it on the laptop.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that now.
Yeah. So, but I didn't want to. I almost went to an AI. I almost shut the whole conversation down. Like, stop. It can be replaced literally tomorrow. I just don't think anyone cares to yet.
Yeah.
I was like, I come there with a boom mic right now and have that job automated. Tell your lawyer I'll do it for half the cost and twice the efficiency. So I don't know. Yeah, it was cool. 2025. If that happens, ASI under 90 days. And that's if it kicks its feet back and wants to try a margarita or two. Or what do they drink on the beach? Sex on the beach. It's got a little umbrella in it. Maybe it's out of a coconut. I don't know. One of those fancy ones.
That should be the thumbnail clip or the thumbnail.
I had to put Elon in there. Elon gets the clicks.
Yeah. So
right.
the moral is I'm going to move my timeline up on some of the stocks I'm going to buy.
And they have to watch. So let's do another video because they're going to have to just subscribe and come back. We want a top 5. We just did a top 10. You going to bump up all of them or a handful?
I know which ones. The top 5 are pretty well picked.
Okay. So we got another top 5 coming up.
Yep.
We've gone over my top 5. We've gone over, I'm going to call it our top 10 because I was in every one of those. I actually still have them. Yeah, every one of them. I thought there was one. It was crowd, but I already have it. Okay. So we'll do your top 5 next.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the next video. So here's the comments I want to read down in the chat. AGI, artificial general intelligence. I hate to just give my own meaning for it, but this does revert back to an older video. Do you think the S-curve stalls? Almost like a double S-curve, if you will. We call it artificial general intelligence just because us, mere humans have no idea what general intelligence actually is. Do we stall out at a hyper-tuned large language model? And how awesome does the world get? Because if we did stall there, jobs aren't replaced. Maybe. But I guess jobs will be replaced for those who don't pick it up. You've said before, if you want to have a job, learn this stuff.
Yep.
And my personal opinion, this is where I want to hear everyone else's. You can give us a quick highlight on yours. If we just stalled there, I bet we could thrive pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
Because there would just be, it would almost, I said this in the very beginning, was it last year? Because I said it's going to be an AI theme year. It's the AI race. And AI will finally fix stupid. And I think that's what it'll be. You can have an absolute idiot, but as long as he's got his phone in his hands and he can talk to his large language model, then that's it. I think everyone could do a whole lot better. Imagine everybody is just all of a sudden smart. You only have to worry about the idiots driving slow in the left lane. That's it. Other than that, everyone else is smart.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think we would? You already gave your opinion, but
yeah, I mean, I would actually love to stall there for just a little while.
Just enjoy the scenery a little bit.
Yeah, I would like that.
It's not
gonna happen.
Let's wrap it up. But before we forget, that's going to be a video coming out where I want to talk just about that. Things that would probably really go, because I do think we stall there for a little bit. This is what we'll talk about in the video. I do think it's a flash in the pan. I think we really start to thrive, and that's the beta model that we've talked about, where we do just train the AI and then your job is gone.
Yeah.
I think we'll get ahead of ourselves on that one. All right, so let's wrap it up here. I want everyone to answer that down below, and then what do you think of Elon's comments? Yeah, that's what I need. Anyway, hit the subscribe button, do all the cool stuff. I'll see you guys in the comments. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.